Hello and welcome to the inaugural episode of Crew Commentary here on Funhaus, where we go through and watch some of our old material and we do director's commentary or just crew commentary.
Yeah, I think some of our favorites, some of your favorites, what you want to hear, the inside scoop, the inside house.
The Inside House. I think this one was recommended or asked for in the comments, and we're going to do the first episode of season 3 of Ryan's Bargain Bin.
Did you ever think it would get to 3 seasons?
No, I didn't.
Let's kick it off because this is a 21-minute video.
Yeah, we don't have to watch even the whole thing.
Which, 21 minutes.
Yeah, too long.
The Ryan's Bargain Bins, they're sagas.
They're needlessly long. Every season we start, I'm like, I need to do a simpler, trimmed down version of this, but it always just gets more and more crazier. Now, it's important to remember that James and Elyse have no idea what's about to happen when these are recorded.
Yeah.
That's part of the filming.
Yeah, and you also, people maybe don't realize that Ryan's Bargain Bin is pretty scripted, in a sense.
Well, Elyse, do we want to tell people?
Yeah.
Is that
that's the whole point of this show, is to tell people that.
No, it's not. It is completely off the cuff.
What? I think the people want to know that.
No, you say it's scripted, though. It's really, it is and it isn't. There are prompts, I would say.
Well, sometimes you'll literally just be like, say these exact words.
Well.
I think it's interesting to people because probably people don't realize that at all, which is a good indication that we're doing a good job.
Well, and the reason I do that too, it's not necessarily like, oh, you have to stick to this script. It's more like, here is what we'll get, and then hopefully all this other stuff happens, and we can lead it in really funny, interesting directions, and that it doesn't have to just stick to my dumb script, but it's there for us to just get for safety, basically.
Yeah. Well, with a lot of the extras too, though, they also had specific lines that they would be saying.
Now this,
you're a filmmaker.
This thing that is happening right now, I would say, I'm going to pause it for a moment. I had this whole entire thing where this storyline where I was basically going to be dating the disembodied console that we were playing the entire time.
The Rybox 3.
And I had the 360 420 69 or whatever the fuck. But I had scripted that all out before the season started, and during the editing of it, I almost completely abandoned it because it was one of those things where, in theory, in my mind, it made a lot of just perfect sense, Elyse. And it was so funny. And then I'm editing it, I'm like, this is so. It's too hard to even set up what I'm even trying to do here. Yeah. And then we didn't really go with it the whole time, so I basically abandoned it.
Do you ever worry that Ryan's Bargain Bin, to a person who has never consumed Funhaus, is like the show with the largest barrier or the greatest barrier to entry?
Yeah, it's the least successful. You have to start from the beginning at this point, and that's not how. And that's the thing. It wasn't conceived that way. It's not like when we started this. At the beginning. It was like, it
was a very simple conceit.
Yeah, it was just, we're gonna get Ryan to pitch us really shitty games.
But now it's evolved into God knows what. But I mean, I like that it is God knows what.
I do too.
It's like Tim Heidecker and Greg Turkington's,
on
cinema, and where it's like, this is a movie review show?
Right.
What?
Yeah. I do think it has completely jumped the shark.
Really?
Yes. I think that for this season, the first and second episodes are stellar, and everyone brought their A game. Old Elyse, here we are. This is you. Seeing old
did
Elyse.
it. She did a great job.
And you have no idea that this person's coming in here. This is your genuine reaction to me going, all right, old Elyse.
This is my performative reaction.
How dare you? That was genuine.
Oh my gosh! Who are you?
I also had an inkling of when you were talking about the future. I was like,
Oh, you thought you knew what I was going to do?
Well,
that's a woman from the future. It appears I've created some sort of bargain.
I guess yes.
That me just looking down at my bracelet right now.
Yeah.
That was what I would genuinely. This is me doing. We got to make a video here. Me looking in the camera. I know what's up.
Now this is someone. Future Elyse is someone I have worked with before. She's amazing.
How did you meet her?
So my first short film I ever put ads up on the LA. Basically, first short I ever made in LA. Period. Was called Grandma Can't Swim, and you can look it up. It's on Vimeo, I think. And she is the grandma, and Grandma Can't Swim, the titular grandma. And the whole thing is that I'm like in this fraternity they're hazing me and stuff, and I'm supposed to teach my grandma how to swim today, but instead the bullies come and force my grandma to wade water while I go get their homework or something like that. It's complicated.
So they're in the hazing. Is it you have to teach her to swim as part of the hazing?
No, that's separate. I'm just teaching my grandma how to swim, but then they're hazing me, and I'm doing all their homework for them because I'm so smart.
Oh.
So then they take it too far, and they're like fucking with they're basically bullying my grandma. Too. It's not my best work. It's an early.
But you built a lifelong friendship.
Yeah, we've worked several times.
What's her
together.
name?
Kim Jindra. Something. Yeah.
So you're making stuff now, and then you need a part, and you call up Kim.
Well, I put up an acting notice, a crew call for just looking for elderly women that look like you. And so I'm going through just every old person. I'm saying
Dame Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Helen Mirren.
So this 65 and up crowd, and I did not get very many good responses. I got a ton for James.
Really?
James, I could pick through a ton of people for James. Somehow I didn't get as many, for you. And then
I would have. I don't want to tell you how to make your work, but I would have cast an old Latino man as James.
I thought about going that route.
Ultimate. James finally embraces that half of his heritage as he gets older.
Yeah,
and
that would have been funnier.
Yeah. No. The guy that played James was great.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. Kim did a great job as you, though.
She did.
I kind of just dawned on me. I'm like, oh, I know this. I know an older woman with long blonde hair.
That's usually all it takes.
Not that those are all your features.
Well, no, but for me personally, for anyone to put you look like this person on the internet, it's usually just blonde hair. Isn't it? White. Kim, as we've mentioned, she did have lines and things she had to say, backstory and things, but she also had a couple quips in there that were entirely hers.
Yeah, she was great at improvising.
I feel like this is her here.
Yeah.
She's
just going off. Really, it was just like the interstitial, like beginning and end of getting to the next game kind of stuff that I would feed her feed some lines
to stitch it all together.
Yeah, but for most of the part,
my favorite thing with finish what you're saying.
I was gonna say, for the most part, her commentary on the games is just genuine, whatever she's thinking.
Yeah, I was just gonna say my favorite thing with Ryan Bespargan, maybe not as much this season, but in previous ones, is you've got your script up on the computer, and you're referencing it and you get really upset when we read it, and we bogart it or
because theoretically you're not supposed to know that exists. I'm just so bad at acting that I need to have it there as my cheat sheet, and then all of a sudden at least I'm sitting there going, she's reading the storyline for 4 games later. I'm like, you're not supposed to know any of this shit, and she can't help herself.
I like see, because to me it's just so funny in that moment to read the script and be like, what the fuck. So
this is me inserting the game into my wife. This is supposed to be a way bigger part of it, and I just was like, this is too weird.
And you've got Jacob in the back as
that was a whole other thing. There was just in my head, I'm like, oh well, we need some stupid reason that these future versions of y'all are coming back, and so then I kind of, to tie into the whole time travel thing, the motif we've already started. It's like, well, Jacob will be like a Doc Brown from Back to the Future, and he'll kind of be there, and but then in hindsight, he had very little to do back there. He's completely unnecessary, and he just every once in a while
he's eye candy back there,
and it really doesn't even matter. Like that's the thing. Less is so much more sometimes in editing, like in storylines and stuff. This is really getting into how I'm not a very good writer.
Well, I was going to ask, do you think that that's a shortcoming of the script?
Yes, it is. There's I have unnecessary characters here. There's my wife that's supposed to be in the background. There's Jacob. He's just literally going in the background playing with the production design.
Shit. Well, you came from a place of plot over character.
But I gotta remind myself and relearn that lesson no one gives a shit about plot. Like it does not matter at all.
Characters drive the story.
Apparently.
Which
I'm really learning that lesson.
We did learn that here because Dr. Jacob Scott, that's his name.
Yeah.
Or Brown, Dr. Jacob Brown. What was his name? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he says anything this whole video.
I don't know. I think you're right. And then the worst part. So he's just in the back there. Like I said, the first 2 episodes of this I feel like work and are strong, but then the 3rd and 4th episodes I don't think work at all and are bad. But and it's my fault.
I think you're being hard on yourself because I think they're very entertaining and fun.
So for the 3rd episode, I wanted, my idea was that Hunter or Techno Destructo was going to come, who we've established in, he's in the canon of Ryan's Bargain Bin, but that he was going to come and be like, he was going to be Jacob from the future. That was my original plan, right? Was that Jacob, you guys have these normal-looking people.
Yeah.
But then Jacob from the future is Techno Destructo.
That's fun.
But Techno Destructo is very...
is he protective of
his
image?
lore, and he did not want to be Jacob, which I understand. I didn't want to... I'm basically rewriting his own lore.
So would he play a new character, or would he be Techno Destructo, but that's what Jacob becomes?
That's what Jacob becomes. Jacob would have this convoluted backstory where he ends up becoming Techno Destructo in the future. But really, there's so many hoops to get through that. So we ended up just making him a new character.
So can the members of GWAR, are they allowed to singularly tailor their backstories, or do they all need to vet their backstories through each other?
They're all intertwined, and
does Techno need to go to the guys and be like, I'm thinking of adding this thing where I was this guy in the past, and he grew up.
Well, no, he's so protected that he knew that was a non-starter from the get-go.
Okay.
But he could somehow justify the fact that he had this child. Because he has, what's his name, Topher? Tofert? Do you remember Tofert? Yeah, okay. At least it was so memorable. The character of Topher.
That's not an indictment of the series as much as it is my memory. So he had a child named Topher is played by Jacob.
Topher is played by Jacob. Ends up playing
the kind of really maudlin,
the clone goth version of himself as a child. See, that's the thing. It's like, just explaining it, it gives me a headache.
Oh yeah, because I was Gashly. I was the mother of Topher.
Oh my God, yeah, you were there.
They're nicer though in Canada. They're not gonna.
I like too that we're playing Canadian football games right now
because that's the tenuous connection being that I am Canadian.
Thin line that
I mean, sometimes
connects you and future Elyse.
Hey, as the producer of many gameplays that did not involve referencing the gameplay, I fully understand. Sometimes you just need that thing to get you in that room so people aren't like, oh, this is a video game channel. Because believe me, you, Ryan, sometimes if we didn't have to turn the game on, I wouldn't.
I understand.
Oh yeah, because you knew how I felt about Carlos Mencia's legacy, his questionable legacy.
Yeah, I like how I'm just writing your own personal lore on this show too. Yeah. With what happens.
That's a genuine moment there where that was not performative. I was excited to see this as the game.
Oh, because you love ghost stories?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I did a better job at picking the games for the second season too. I feel like there's some games here where it's just, like you said, the connection is so thin. And so, why are we playing this? And some of them are too good too. That's the other thing, is that the show started supposed to be, really shitty games.
Cream of the crop from the bottom of the barrel.
Bottom of the barrel.
I think this is a great season. I think it's very fun.
Thank you.
But I will say, like, you were more sleazy car salesman in the previous series.
Well, yeah, the whole entire concept of the season kind of evolved/devolved depending on your.
I think. Do you think that it's once you got into the multiverse and breaking the space-time continuum that things went wrong?
Oh, absolutely. Once we've opened that Pandora's box in season 2, it's like I had this subconscious need that I felt like it had to snowball bigger and bigger. It really didn't need to. I feel like if we're going to do another season, it would be wise to go back to basics.
To retcon?
Not retcon. Oh, you mean like, it was all in a snow globe or something?
It was all a dream.
Okay.
You wake up in bed next to Bob Newhart's wife.
Yeah.
And it was all Ryan. The
I feel like
the third and second seasons of Ryan's
that would make me
Bargain
mad as a viewer.
Oh, I would love if the second and third seasons of Ryan's Bargain Bin were dreams. That would be great.
Commenter, everyone watching this, let us know if you would prefer if season 2 and 3 were dreams. Let us know down in the comments. We'll take it into consideration.
Because how did the first season end?
It ended with Guar, with Guar killing me repeatedly. Remember?
Oh yeah, because in Spool.
And then it ends with a teaser of Spool was the puppet master, and then that's when I felt the need to explain all that ad nauseum in the first episode of season 2.
Well, what if you are dead? What if you're at Con 2 and 3, and it's not you that wakes up from a dream. It's me that wakes up from a dream.
You?
And I go,
your head?
What the fuck? And then it's me. So I wake up from this dream where I had dreamt that you were alive and you had made seasons 2 and 3 of Ryan's Bargain Bin. But this is just my way of grieving your death because you are dead. You were killed by Guar. You are dead in life.
I hate dream sequences so much, but this could be the one that gets me back in the game.
I haven't fully reconciled this. I'm still dealing with this loss. And then in my like little bit of morbid obsession, I'm like, we need to bring Ryan back. How do we do this? And then I become obsessed, consumed by this idea of like a Frankenstein thing of bringing you back, which I do with the help of Dr. Jacob Brown.
Oh my God.
Who is a real character that I know.
So the entire thing where I was just a disembodied head was all in your mind too?
Is that in season 1?
No, season 2.
No. 2 and 3 are retcon.
Oh, okay. God.
So you're dead, but then I bring you back
from Guar.
Okay. I bring you back, but you're not quite right because you're a, it's Pet Cemetery rules, right? Like you've come back, but something's not quite.
Right. Yeah. All right.
So you're back to used car salesman Ryan, but something's wrong. And then I
like that.
Yeah.
I also like just like, because, I'm a god now and stuff. There's all that's funny how in the second season, I theoretically became like a literal god. And then we never talk about that in the third season.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you got it.
I think it was classic ad.
Old Office.
Oh, man.
Isn't that interesting? I mean, you chronicle every aspect of your life, so you can, but like for me, it is a weird feeling of like, oh, this thing that I'll never see again in my life, but I can look back at hours and hours of footage of it.
I like that too. Right before this ad break, Future Elyse had one of my favorite lines of hers where there was something in like that Ghost game where there was like blood in the bathtub, and she just is like, they're like, I forgot how that. I wish we. You
want to rewind it? I'm sorry. I was yammering on about.
It was just really funny how.
I was talking about.
She said something like, "Oh yeah, we hate when there's blood in bathtubs" or something, and it's just like, where did that line come from?
And why?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Sure. Oh my God.
Oh, that's a little nasty.
Blood in the tub.
Don't like that.
You know that.
Yeah, we do know blood in the tub.
What does that mean?
Yeah, we do know blood in the tub. Like, oh Jesus, okay. What are you talking about, Future Elyse? Yeah, there just was not much in these games. Sometimes you get shitty games, and there's kind of like. There's the moment where everyone is figuring out how shitty it is, and then there's kind of like how you get out of it.
Yeah.
And then there's nothing else to show for the rest of it. Okay, we'll skip past his ad.
Nevertheless, it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It gave us enough fodder that it worked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is about the Mick Gang.
Oh, okay.
We incorporated other things. I like your
We have not even
performance of
gone
that.
to McDonald's, the McGang at this new.
We're healthier now.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, I'm hungry though. I remember that.
Oh yeah, this is just really blue here humor.
Yeah. It's a fortunate crutch of mine.
Oh Ryan, I can't. I feel so bad. This is the you're really being too hard on yourself. These are great videos. These are great. You always put out like 100% stellar content. You always go over the top with it.
Thank you, Elyse.
I really think you're being too critical. People loved this. They requested it.
That's the other thing is that these videos take me way too long to make. So I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They almost kill you.
They kill me every time.
Why is that?
Well, that's the thing. It's like I add all these unnecessary elements and stuff that like make it way harder to, there's all these graphics and stuff. And mind you, this one I didn't even do like in the first 2 seasons, especially the first season, especially as we were remote. Remember there was all those crazy graphics I had it was supposed to. Our original idea was supposed to be like a play on QVC shows and stuff, and like it was supposed to have like a shitty.
That doesn't even happen in this one.
It never happens in this season. That's the thing. Well, we've gone so far down the rabbit hole of like, what is this show? And now it's basically a time travel sketch show.
What do you think's been going through Jacob's head this whole recording?
Why did Ryan ask me to be here? Oh yeah, she's.
Oh yeah, I really liked that and appreciated that old Elyse was like going along, or Kim.
Yeah.
Kim was going along with everything.
No, it's always. It's cool.
Know.
Oh yeah, that I added in post, too. Oh yeah. Real quick. Like that was supposed to be the stupid. That was supposed to be the logic. Was that the only way to open up the space-time continuum to get future Elyse Back to the Future was if you both agreed on a game, right? So then that was going to be the gag, was that every game like, future Elyse loves this game, but old Elyse kind of found something wrong with it. Old Elyse loves this game, future Elyse kind of,
lukewarm,
lukewarm on it. So it was supposed to be go back and forth, but then obviously, we had to manufacture that, and so a lot of like your actual genuine reactions, I would be like, well, actually, can you say you don't like it? For the video.
Poor developer's gonna watch this gameplay and go.
I get in the post, and I'm like, this fucking doesn't work at all, and so I like just scrapped that whole logic thing. Like I scrapped us explaining it, and I scrapped just the and then basically at the end, I think in every episode, Jacob just has some dumb idea. He's like, oh, well, if we do this, it'll open up the space-time continuum. It's like, okay, like, who gives a...
Ryan, no!
I know. I like I said, this episode is fun. I like how little sense it makes.
What is a video you've cut or been in that you would want to talk about on this commentary show?
I like talking about this.
Oh,
this
okay.
Yeah. You mean one that I'm like proud of through and through?
I want to have my Ben Affleck Armageddon moment on this show where I'm like, it's a bargain bin, but they're all shitty. Why didn't they just put some good games in it, and then it wouldn't even be a question? They just train the astronauts to drill.
Your send off. Bye, future me. You guys have a nice moment here that I manufacture.
Like what you learned about each other today, so we can wrap the episode up in a really nice bow.
I loved you more than I thought I would.
I loved you too, and I learned that future Elyse is hardcore as fuck. Keep on keeping on, future Elyse.
What'd you learn, future Elyse, about current Elyse?
That she's adorable.
That's just you giving yourself a compliment.
Yeah, but
that doesn't count.
future Elyse, you're great. I'll see you in 5 years.
Perfect way to end it. Yeah.
You know.
It's funny because James laughed because he had been waiting to say that exact line.
Yeah. And she became the Prime Minister of Canada and kind of a dangerous cult leader.
Yeah.
And an author.
And an author. Yeah. You should maybe use that as a cautionary tale a little bit. Yeah. Another big. I had a lot of fun. Part of the fun of me planning this was like, I'm basically writing you and James's future and stuff, and just like, how can I fuck with you guys? What can I say that will piss you off about your future? And,
I got to be an author and the Prime Minister of Canada.
But you have weird.
I was nervous
views.
if my passport was even going to get renewed recently, so that was huge. What you mean weird political views? What are you talking about?
Remember, because you have Muppetology. You have a whole weird religion that you've you've turned Canada into this. What do you call it?
Like a cult.
Yeah, like what's it called when religions run a country? Is that oligarchs? No, that's business people. Whatever.
No, yeah. What?
One of those.
Yeah.
One of those religious countries.
No.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's a word that we should know. Theocracy.
Theocracy.
Fuck, we got there.
Not how I thought the first episode of Ryan's Bargain Bin Season 3 would go.
I guess the question is, what did you have planned if there hadn't been...
Your face. I feel like it's genuine.
Yeah.
What did you have planned? It was you fucking your girlfriend.
I think what I really said was, I was just going to wing it, but it wasn't funny enough. And
wow.
We brought the girlfriend back. All right, well.
Any final thoughts, Ryan? So, looking back, anything you would have done differently?
Yeah. I think I would have done a lot of differently on the latter half of that season. But I thought that episode was great. I thought everyone had a lot of fun.
You always put 110% into making this show, and I think even if it gets off the rails plot-wise, people respond to that and recognize that.
I hope in a positive way.
Would you consider like trying to do a back to basics approach with Ryan?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's got to be a back to basics approach, but also it's got to have some hook that I think it's not just the
cream of the crop from the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it's gonna have it's back to basics, same but different.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As they say in the biz. Any last thoughts that you had, Elyse, on this?
It's always fun to do Ryan's Bargain Bin. I think I agree that like bringing it back down a little bit because where do you go from here? Yeah, where do you go but back?
Yeah. Maybe you don't go back. maybe it lives how it's. Maybe
you make another show.
Maybe you do something else with your time. But
well, thank you so much to everybody who is a channel member, first member who has hung out with us for crew commentary. Ryan, like what would you want to talk about on here? Like,
oh man. We've done some really good ones lately. It would be fun to break down some of the more complicated ones we've done, like the van, like the "Don't Stop or You'll Explode in the Van" video or something.
That's a good one.
Where there's just all this shit going on that you probably didn't even see behind the scenes. Or some of our streams would be funny to be like what we were doing, or not streams, but like the drunk stream crazy ones.
That's a good one.
Recent video, we just did that 1 life, 1 hour.
One life, 1 life. Oh yeah, 1 hour, 1 life.
Yeah, 1 hour, 1 life. And that was just probably a one-off video, but it would be fun to, because there's all this stuff that didn't make the cut on that. That was funny,
For me, I think it's the Nintendo Sports drunk one,
really?
where Patrick and I are the hosts, and then you and John and James are Jacob Lindsay,
Jacob Smith.
Jacob Lindsay, James are a team, and then you, John Smith, and John Holland are a team, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun one.
I think that make it,
Well, thanks everyone. I really appreciate you suggesting we do this bargain bin episode. That was fun to talk about.
Yeah.
And go watch Grandma Can't Swim on Vimeo.com to see me and Kim's other. I don't do a very bad job acting. I'd say. I run a marathon in it, kind of. It's part of it. Anyway,
I believe it. Was that before or after you were on a Mighty Ducks-esque hockey team when you lied to me?
Yeah, she's talking about the puck off video. I loved how people were like commented like Elyse is so used to Ryan just saying all this bullshit that she just didn't blink an eye when I said that I was in the Olympics.
It's true.
I played hockey in the Olympics.
Like, okay.
And you're like, tell me more, really?
Yeah. I think I missed the Olympics part. I think I just thought that you were on a kids hockey team. And I was like, okay.
Oh, I say at the end when we were going to the Olympics, like in D2.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. See you next time on Crew Commentary on Funhouse.